What? Yeah! 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 Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy T. Whatsblazing, the sports guy. Yes, of course, I am back at it. Like a crack at it, giving you Boston Geekers that work. What's up with it? Guys, man, what's up? It's Sunday. You know, I try to get me a little jog. You know, I was looking at old videos that I did, you know. Every now and then, I like to go back and see some of the work I've done in the past. The energy, how in shape I was back then, it got me motivated. I got to get it back, man. I got to get it back. What we're going to talk about today, guys, do me a favor, smash the like button. What we're going to talk about today is Errol Spence Jr. I watched the last, I believe it's All Access of Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. And Errol Spence Jr. said something to me. Something that I have said leading up to this fight. That this loss will change a person. It's going to change one of them. One of them going to taste that loss. And I said one of them is going to have to deal with something they never dealt with before. That's how to deal with a loss. And guys, a loss of this magnitude, on this level of stage, can really change a person. So guys, do me a favor before I get into it. Smash the like button, man. We are growing. We did really good last night. We've been doing really good, man. Especially with the shadow ban that's going on with me on YouTube. I can't do a lot about it. I see others they're able to get the views, but for some reason YouTube won't let me get out the box. They trying to keep me trapped in the closet. And I ain't trying to be trapped in no closet. You know what I mean? Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. So let's talk about it. What I said before Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. fought, when you got two bulls, two people believe that the other person is not built like that. Terence Crawford believed that Errol wasn't built like that. Same for Errol thinking about Terence. He ain't built like that. What did Errol Spence Jr. say? I'm going to put him in the dirt. What did Terence Crawford say? I'm going to catch the big fish, right? And I didn't see no pretending. When I see fighters like, in no disrespect, Blair Cobb, it sounds like marketing, sounds like selling. Even when I hear Keith Thurman, yo, it's one time, I can move, I can dodge. To me, it sounds like selling. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's not true or not. Just saying it sounds like you're trying to sell me. When I hear Errol Spence Jr. talk and Terence Crawford talk, it sounds like these guys is being as honest as they can get it. And we saw the fight, right? We saw what happened. It was a complete one-sided affair. Errol Spence Jr. fought the perfect fight to lose. He fought the perfect fight for Terence Crawford. And maybe that's just styles to me styles. Or maybe, I don't know what it is, but when I watched that fight, Errol Spence Jr. did not, like, when I listened to that last episode of All Access for Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr., I think Errol Spence Jr. was trying to give him advice. Move your feet. Put your hands up. You know what I'm saying? Don't go straight in. I don't know why Errol Spence Jr. did it, but he did not keep his hands up. was not moving his feet laterally at all. He was if he was moving at any angle, it was trying to chase in a perfect line behind Terence Crawford to allow counterpunching. Stop me when I'm lying. No head movement. Check. No defense. Even his guard wasn't like this here. He was more loose. Did you see the way that Terence Crawford was slicing that jab through his guard? I can't even say defense, through his guard. His guard must have been wide enough like this to fit straight in. And every time Terence Crawford would line him up for that shot like Andy Clippers, he would stick a dagger in up. Boom, 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 boom. And people wonder why Terence Crawford's jab hurts so much. Well, he's naturally a right-handed fighter, right? So if you take me, I'm a right-handed fighter. Typically, you put your power hand in the back, jab up front, boom, 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 set up for the big one, right? But if you put in this front and I'm hitting you with it, listen, man, that's a strong jab. That's a real strong. That's probably the strongest the jab can get. If I'm hitting you with my power hand in the jab form, probably the strongest power that the jab can get. And he was popping Errol Spence Jr. with his jab all night long. Now, the results. What can we take away from the 9th round stoppage? Couple things. Errol Spence didn't get knocked out. He lost on his feet. But he was getting beat. What can we take from that? There's no means of him being knocked out, right? So I guess that's good. He lost on his feet. See, when you're a fighter, you have to have something to make you want to go again, right? Just like, let's say, I'm gonna use my boy. I'm gonna use my boy Deontay Wilder, right? When Tyson Fury won the second fight, right? You know, and we start seeing all these things with the gloves, and I still believe. Listen, Tyson Fury, in my opinion, has history with glove issues, and from past fights, and watching the first fight between Wilder, definitely looked like some extendo glove type of issues going on there. But either way, true or false, you gotta find something as a fighter, especially if you're gonna do it again, to justify you doing it again, right? So Errol Spence Jr. lost the fight on his feet, right? He went back in the back room. You gotta imagine, I told you guys, man, excuse me, put yourself in a fighter's shoes right now if you can, right? Wherever you're driving, put yourself in a fighter's shoes. You haven't lost, right? You're man down. You're the big fish, right? All this talk leading up to the moment means a lot too. The first undisputed welterweight champion in history, right? And you go out there and basically people look at it that you put up a dud or you ain't that good of a boxer. They drop you completely out the top 10. See, maybe there are other fighters that should be above. Yes, no, that's on you. But to me, it can kind of discourage top 10 fighters from fighting top 10 fighters. Because if you lose to another top 10 fighter, they're going to drop you all the way off the map. So then you got to ask yourself, right? If you are ranked number 1 and somebody else ranked number 2, do you fight each other? Because the loser, unless you're Canelo, you're going to get dropped off that thing. You got to do some stuff to get back on it. He lost on the biggest. He got embarrassed. Listen to me clearly. Errol Spence Jr. got embarrassed in front of the world. He went back there. He got to face everybody with the same face that he sees in the mirror. Battered eyes, battered face, beat. And he has his family there, and he goes to sit down in this chair. And he says something that made me spark this video. That's the seat right there. He said, so this what it feels like. This what it feels like. And that's nothing that's tangible. It's something that's in him. Remember, it's good to have support, but only he is feeling what he feels. When he says, so, he's talking about how he feels inside. When he go back there and he facing people and he waking up the next day, not only did he lose, he lost in the worst way. Got beaten and battered. Now, for Errol Spence Jr., this is going to do two things. Two things. All right? We can look at, and follow me, guys, follow me. When we look at people like Anthony Joshua, has Anthony Joshua on screen, in the ring, has he been the same Anthony Joshua since he beat like Klitschko? Since he took that loss to Andy Ruiz, has he been the same? Even if he took the fight, took the rematch against Andy Ruiz, was he the same? Against Usyk, Jermaine Franklin, he's not the same. He wants to be, but he's not. Something is broken in him, and he hasn't found a way to fix it. And now, a video I gotta do, at least a short I gotta do, about D-Ball White. Dylan White fails another test again. Listen, Dylan White was determined to go in there and put hands and feet on Anthony Joshua. He like, listen, man, don't give me a full blast of it. I gotta try to pass these router tests. Just give me a little taste of it. You know, sometimes a little taste won't really affect me, but it'll give me mental strength that at least I'm on something that's stronger than what I really believe I am, and that might give me a will to win. But Vada called him again. Another adverse test by Dylan White. Man. Oh, Tina Lynch in the building. Why is this not showing? Okay, there you go. No rematch. All right, Tina. Shout out to Tina. It wasn't showing that I had a text. This is what I believe, Tina. And I'm not going to, this is what I could be wrong. This is what I believe. And I'm going to get to that rematch real soon. All right, let's go down this yellow brick road together, all right? With Errol Spence Jr. is going to mentally do two things. He's going to look at this loss. He's going to feel embarrassed about it. He's going to feel hurt, pain, upset. He almost want to punch himself in the face over and over and over because how the fight went. And at the end of it, it's either going to make him a more timid fighter, a more beaten fighter. And the losses are going to start being a greater chance of happening every fight going without. Or he gonna take this loss. He gonna look at everything he didn't do. Not what he did do, what he didn't do. We saw what he did. You can't look at what you did and say, let me learn from that. You didn't do nothing. What you didn't do was move your head. What you didn't do was use feints to stop him from being, when you face a counterpuncher goes out timing. You have to disrupt timing. Spence needs a dominant fight, a new mindset against another top fighter. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm being honest with you, but I think it's going to happen. Teen Lynch, shout out Teen Lynch in the building, what it does. What I think is going to happen, Errol Spence Jr. is getting his rematch, because if he doesn't get it, now it's probably not going to happen. May not never happen. Or, I don't know. What are the chances of Errol Spence Jr. winning the next fight? Slim. What are the chances that the fight looks better than it did this last time? It's a lot better. Because there's only a few small things Errol can do to make it a more difficult fight. He just fought the worst game plan known to mankind. You telling me Mean Machine, for the first 5 or 6 rounds, he can do better than Earl? Gamboa, all this? Listen, come on, man. Come on. Listen, this loss by Errol Spence Jr., and you see him sitting there, man, listen, that hurts. I'm telling y'all, listen, I have never suffered a loss like that, but sometimes, even if you're on the main stage or you just amongst your peers and friends and family, if you lose in something that you say you're good in, people believe you're good in, but you lose in a lopsided fashion, it can have the same similar effect. So I remember it was early on when I started boxing, and I thought I was just so good. I was so fast. I was so strong, and I was schooling everybody that was in my range of fighting. And then I end up because I was schooling everybody. I mean, this is early on. I may have had less than 4 fights, 3 fights. I don't know. But I was so good beating everybody else that had 0 fights, 1 fight, 2 fights, 3 fights, 4 fights, 5 fights, that this Golden Glove champion that was getting 2-time Golden Glove champion, getting ready to turn pro, he wanted to show me, he wanted to put me in my place. And when we sparred, he got the better of me, and I hate to admit it, he got the better of me. I couldn't land nothing clean on the inside. I couldn't land nothing clean on the outside, and it was in front of the coach, the friend, like everybody that hyped up there. I was really good, but I was early on, right? And I left there. I thought about it all day, all night. I dreamed about it. Woke up about it. Went to work thinking, I was like, man. And then I used that focus to say, you know what? I'm not as good as I think I am. I have a lot of room to grow. I gotta get better. And I took studying better. And the next time that I actually sparred him, it was probably a couple years after that. I was able to completely control every round. And then when we were supposed to spar again, maybe a year or so after that, every time after that second time we sparred and I was controlling everything, and then he saw me getting better, he never sparred me again. The only time he was willing to spar me is when he knew he had an advantage, and then when he didn't know how much I'd grown, when he sparred me that second time and realized that I was able to put hands on him, and then at that time, that's when he changed mentally. He didn't spar me anymore. And then that's when I became the hunter. But I realized when it was coming to spar, he never wanted to get work with me. I remember one time I walked in the gym, he was about to get work with somebody. And I said, oh, let me jump in too. He said, no, I'm just gonna work. I'm just gonna work with him right now. Like, I knew what it was. I need work too. He said, I think the spotlight got to Spence. He's ready for big fights. Crawford said he wanted the rematch. Well, Spence said, even if you haven't seen it, check out the Showtime. That last All Access between them two is out now. Spence said in the ring he wanted the rematch, and then when he went back in the dressing room, he said we gotta do it again. This stuff hurts. Then he sat down and he told a little guy that, hey, we gotta run it back. Now, for a fighter, listen, a fighter has to have that mindset, man. You can't, now even if it don't pan out that it runs back, you gotta have that mindset. Because if you're a fighter and you try to just move on, knowing that you got beat down like that, it's like a dark cloud is always hunting you. And like I said, it could be the same result. Errol Spence Jr., if he wants his rematch, he is actually in a position, let's say the fight's going to happen, right? He is actually in a position to make a very strong presence. Everybody is counting him out. The Vegas odds going to be lopsided. The people who's betting polls going to be lopsided. Everybody going to have Terence Crawford pick the win, dominate, and even stop him sooner this time. If Errol Spence Jr. can figure out this puzzle, figure out what to do different next time, make it more competitive, and get the win. Listen, man. If he takes the fight, if he's in a position that most fighters like it, because when you're always expecting to win, it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. Like, I didn't used to like fighting home. I love fighting away because I didn't have to have the distractions. I didn't have none of that. But when I fought home, it was like a pressure. I get hit with a big shot, then I'm like, oh man, I gotta get it back. You know, even though you still lock in. I'm gonna tell you guys about a quick fight I had. This might have been out, I don't know where it was. It was about maybe 45, 50 minutes from St. Louis, somewhere. Maybe out in Eureka somewhere. And I remember I was fighting this guy, and I mean, he was honestly, he was built like an action figure, like he like a He-Man, you know. But he was real cut up. And the thing about it, when I looked at him, he looked like he might just be a power puncher. But when he got inside, he actually was a slick boxer. And I remember when I was fighting him, right? You know, I was doing good in the first round. I heard him in the second round, and I never saw her at first while I was fighting, but I heard, and I can almost picture what it was. She said, "Get him, Trey! Get him! Get him!" And it was, by the sound, it sounded like a heavier set black woman. I didn't know her from anything, but man, she was giving me so much support. That's right. I heard her. I heard my coach, and I heard her, but I couldn't see her because I'm in the middle of fighting, right? And I get the win, and I'll hear, over, there you go. You know, and it made me feel real good. And I get out, and at this time, you know, I win the fight, and I'm looking, and then I heard that voice again, and I said, and I went to her in the audience. I said, "Was that you?" She said, "Yeah, that was me." I said, "I knew it." I heard that voice. I was like, "Thank you for the support. I appreciate it." You know, that's one of the rare times that, you know, actually the only time when I was away I got support, because I didn't know who that person was. You know what I'm saying? But man, she started cheering for me, and I liked it, and I drove off of it. I heard her and my coach. Let me see. Plug, what's up, Terence? Spence has lost before. When? Talking about the amateurs. As you said, it's a mindset. Absolutely. Is Spence ready for a big fight? Listen, in Spence, you gotta think about it. When both of these guys signed, both of them, remember, Terence Crawford and Errol signed for a rematch. Terence Crawford cannot move on unless Errol Spence Jr. says, "I don't want to fight." And if Errol Spence says, "I'm not going to activate the rematch clause," you can go on and do what you want. Similar to when Kell Brook beat Amir Khan, because I believe Amir Khan had a rematch clause, but I don't believe he acted on it. You know, I think there was some rumors that he did, but I believe he acted on it. I know he tested positive now. But if Errol Spence Jr. wants his rematch, he got to get his rematch. It doesn't matter what people say, guys. You can't shun Errol Spence Jr. You can't say Terence need to fight. He can't do it. Legally, he can't do it. I can be like a lot of other people. I can make all these videos just making up lies as if they're truth, and be like, Terence Crawford shouldn't rematch Earl should go somewhere else. What Terence should do is tell Errol Spence, hold on and go fight Boots Ennis. It can't work like that. It's like, but then it's like some of the people are following this. They like, yeah, he don't need to fight him next. There's no need for a rematch. He need to go fight him, fight Boots, fight Keith Thurman, fight Stanley Johnson, fight Jermell Charlo. Are you not thinking Jermell Charlo got a fight with Canelo Alvarez? He might not be the same. I'm telling you, I am picking Canelo to beat Jermell Charlo. You can pick who you want. I'm picking Canelo to beat Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo, good power puncher and boxer at 154 pounds. Respectable power. I have not seen that power at 160, and I damn sure ain't seen that power at 168. And I'm about to rely on that? Man, I got Canelo. And then Jermell Charlo gonna come down from 168 and then have to cut weight back down to 154? Listen, man. Terence Crawford can't move on unless Earl doesn't want to fight. the same way with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. They had a rematch clause, right? A two-way rematch clause. What happened when Tyson Fury said, I'm going to move on and make a fight with Anthony Joshua? Wilder took him to court. What did Tyson Fury end up doing? Fighting Deontay Wilder to fulfill his obligation. If you tell Terence Crawford, don't rematch Earl, no need for it, you're going to cost this man to lose a lot. A lot. He's not stupid. He's in the business to make money. At this stage in Terence Crawford's career, he's in the business to make the biggest fight for the most bang. What did Terence Crawford say about fight Boots Ennis? What did he say? Well, you know what? That fight could happen, but right now I'm looking for bigger fights. Bam! He's telling you that he ain't looking for that fight. He's saying it could happen, but he's looking for bigger fights. That means that if it does happen, that fight is on the low end of the totem pole. The Errol Spence Jr. is probably where he wants to go right now for the bank, for the money. And he probably think Errol Spence Jr. is another easy time, makes him more millions, that I can beat Errol Spence Jr. and I can fight Jermell Charlo after he get beat by Canelo, or I can fight Stanley Johnson because I will be mandatory. When I beat Errol Spence again, I will be mandatory for that WBO when I move up. And whoever holds that belt, no suspenders, no drawstrings in the shorts, I'm going to be mandatory for that spot. So he can try to fight. Think about it. Jermell going to come back down from 154. He definitely going to at least not have one title. Right? For sure. At least not one. Not one. Some people say not even two, but at least not one. Right? Here, I just me personally, anything can happen, but I think Jermell Charlo is going to lose to Canelo Alvarez. That's just my thoughts. I'm looking at the skills, the size, and what they have done at their respective weight classes. I seen what Canelo did at 168. Yildirim, Plant, Triple G, right? Billy Joe Saunders. I seen it. I have not seen Jermell Charlo do anything at 168. I cannot gauge his power. I cannot gauge his strength. I cannot gauge his conditioning. I can't gauge it. When people ask me, who do I think is going to win between Nate Diaz and Jake Paul? I said, listen, man, if I had to pick one, I got to go Jake Paul. Even though Nate Diaz has trained before, he trained with Andre Ward. Jake Paul has been consistently training in boxing. He is literally trying to get better. He's not playing boxing. Now, is he cherry picking fights to get the biggest payday each fight while he learns? Yes. Is he moving up to a 10 round fights faster than most actual boxers who started out from amateur program? Yes. He's taking it. I said, I would have to go with Jake. And then from what I've seen when Nate Diaz, his boxing skills in the UFC, he didn't have really defense. Some of his shots were a little bit sloppy. My girl Tina says, I agree Spence didn't seem himself if that night. I don't know what was going on, which makes me think he don't. I can't see it. It sounds like if he don't have the mindset for the big fights. I don't think that's it, because he's been in the big fights. Think about it. Almost every fight for Errol Spence Jr. has been a big fight. The Mikey Garcia, that was a big fight for him. Danny Garcia was a big fight for him. Sean Porter was a big fight for him. Ugas, who beat Pacquiao, was a big fight for him. This was the fight. Now, the only thing that I would say about Errol Spence Jr. is when they was talking to Errol Spence Jr., and I think I said this during my live. I said, oh, they interviewing Errol Spence Jr. It was before he fought. I was live. They was interviewing it, and I was listening. I said, he sounded a little slower. It's like he was already fatigued. The way he was sounding was like he was already talking more slower than normal. And he kind of fought like that. He kind of fought like his feet was in mud. He was reaching with his shots. He was just a lot slower. If he's just a lot slower, and that played into the hands of Terence Crawford. Mr. Glue Baby, what's up? I was going with Bud, but something was off with Spence that day. I picked Bud to win too. I was like, listen, man, this is going to be a close fight. Just looking at the body of work these guys did, what Errol Spence did at a younger stage against a Kell Brook, how he broke Kell Brook down. Kell Brook was a pretty good boxer. Kell Brook, honestly, was boxing pretty good with Terence Crawford before Terence Crawford caught him. He was boxing pretty good and he got caught. Errol Spence, I'm not making no excuses. He ain't making no excuses. I'm just going off evaluation. He just seemed kind of out of it a little bit. Like when I watched that interview beforehand, and you're like, I'm just trying not to waste energy. Think about it, guys. Go back and watch it. He said something along the lines that he's trying not to waste energy, almost as if he didn't have energy. It's like he realized, like, oh man, I ain't got no energy. I gotta really just because I gotta fight a little bit. But I'm not making it. He just seemed a little, and just didn't have the pop like he normally has. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It could have been overtrained, could have been the weight. He's trying to do different things to make the weight more safer. Did it make it safer? Was he dehydrated? I'm not here to make excuses because he didn't make excuses. The fact is, if people are going to say that it was the weight, he was trained, or somebody say he was running a 5-mile uphill in the week of the fight, if those things really happen, then he's not going to have no excuses at 154, right? I mean, you lost. At 154, you're going to have more weight, stay away from them goddamn hills, and it should be a different fight, right? Should be a different fight. The second fight, guys, listen, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be different. Is it going to be a different result? I don't know. But it's going to be different. If I just can't see it being the same result. I think Errol Spence Jr. is not going to display, in my opinion, what Anthony Joshua has displayed. Joshua, like he really lost his compassion to willing to fight, to really exchange. He lost his compassion to get hit. Now, I haven't seen Errol in a fight after this fight, of course, but I don't think Errol's like that. I think he'll go back. Man, hell no, man. I ain't gonna let that sit with me, man. Like, Errol, to me, comes off as the type of person that even before his face healed, and they probably tell him he needs to rest because you don't want to push blood rushing through those spots, he gonna be like, man, let's hit some pads, man. Man, let's go do something, man. Because when you're a fighter and you won't get back and you know that you lost, you trying to get all the training you can. He said, did you see the interview with Antonio Tarver? I agree with Tarver. Spence trainer had no plan B for Crawford. What you think? I think that Errol Spence Jr. tried to implement 2 or 3 different things. I think he tried to implement 2 or 3 different things. I can't say he didn't have a plan B. Maybe it didn't stick out to other people, but I think he tried to do 2 or 3 different things. I think the first round was a fill-out round. He tried to box a little bit. The second round, he got caught reaching, right? You can't reach for shots. And that third round, he switched it up, right? He started going at Terence Crawford. He was trying to stay in Terence Crawford's grill, using the jab, trying to push Terence Crawford back to the ropes and corner, and he started working the body, right? That's 2 game plans right there. And then this might be another one when he was hurt, but he really wasn't pushing the action. He was actually, backing up a little bit. But I think he at least tried 2, maybe 3 different game plans. They just wasn't effective. That's just what it was. The outside is not a good spot for Errol Spence Jr. What they should have done was, it's okay. Oh, and then he just tried to just rush in, right? See, Errol tried to sit back there and box. He was getting picked away. Then he tried to just rush in, and he was getting hit with shots. Then he tried to jab his way in, then he get hit with counter shots. He tried different things. Box, didn't work. Work his way in with a jab, it was effective for at least a round, but then when Terence Crawford caught on to it, he started counter punching. Either he was counter punching Terence Crawford jab trying to come in, or when Earl counter punching Errol Spence jab when he came in, or when Errol Spence, like sometimes he would try to get in there, and Terence just too sharp, turned his ass up. Like he was trying. He did try multiple things. And then when he was kind of buzzed, when he was buzzed, he was on the back foot for a little bit, and Terence Crawford started pushing forward. So then he started going back a little bit. But for him, that's not a completely bad idea. He just wasn't in a condition to do something with it. So let me explain that a little bit. Because Errol Spence Jr. was so tired, he couldn't set traps really going backwards. When you go backwards, you gotta set traps. You gotta be willing to counter. Especially if you got a fighter like Terence Crawford, it's not a bad idea having Terence Crawford come forward. Just like for Terence Crawford, it wasn't a bad idea having Errol Spence Jr. come forward, because you get the counter. And when you are a slower fighter, it's not a bad idea to have the faster fighter come forward. That way, when you did throw, it'll make your punches faster. Because when he's coming forward and you throw, them two speeds makes your shots faster. But in the time that he was doing that, he was already beaten. You know what I'm saying? He was exhausted. He was beaten. His time it was off. He was fighting on fighters' fumes. You know what I'm saying? Just fighting on fighters' fumes. Them rounds was zapping him, and his defense wasn't there. Terence Crawford was just too accurate. He was too accurate, man. When he hit him with that double right hook, I think it was the 7th round. He said, "Bow, bow." Man, I felt bad. I felt bad for for Errol Spence Jr., man. But do I agree with Tarver that overall that they didn't have a plan B? No, I don't. Because it's you're not going to catch a head trainer to say, okay, that ain't working. Plan B. A lot of times they don't do that. They just come out and they just give different adjustments. They'll say, hey, do this, do this, do this. And then remember, every time they're giving you instructions are plans. When he tells Errol Spence Jr., move your feet, move them, lateral, put your hands up, defense. Those are instructions to do. Now, if the fighter don't do them, it doesn't mean he's not getting instructions or plan B or instructions to improve plan A. Before you abandon plan A, you got to try to see what you can do to make it better. And if plan A is just disastrous, then you got to try to do something different. Guys, hit that like button, man. I'm telling you, I'm kicking at work, man. I wasn't even gonna go live today. But I'm like, you know what, man? I'm gonna go live. I'm gonna give this work, and then as soon as I get off from live, I'm gonna change. Cause I don't work out any. These are like my studio shirts. My studio shirts. I only wear these shirts when I go live because somebody recognized me before. I'm like, man, somebody recognized me. I'm not big like that in St. Louis, and somebody that recognized me. I'm like, well, you know what? When I don't wear it, nobody recognizes me. I'm not gonna. These are only here. Even my neighbors don't know what I do, and I'm not gonna tell them. I actually got something else coming up. I got another project I'm gonna do with my youngest son. My oldest, I'm kind of doing like he comes on here every now and then, and we do fishing. I do have a younger son, guys. He's 2.5 years old, man. He's 2.5, and I'm gonna do something that I'm gonna start, doing a lot more featuring with him. That's coming soon too. But guys, listen, man. If you guys don't have no question, man, if you got any questions for me, let me know. If you want to call in, if you want to call in right now in the next 60 seconds, then I'll take the call and we can wrap, and you can ask me some questions about this fight. You ask me questions about Jake Paul, Nate Diaz. We could talk about that. We could talk about Jamel Charlo and Canelo. So if you want to touch on those, Crawford, Spence, Jamel, Canelo, Jake Paul, Nate Diaz, call the number now, 314-884-1013. If nobody calls in the next 60 seconds, man, I'm going to work out. I'm going to get that workout in. So smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Sharing is caring. Guys, we are moving. Thank you for everybody who joined us last night. I went live right before the fight happened. But to wrap this video up, to wrap it up, I believe there is 99% chance there's a rematch. If I was Errol Spence Jr., this is where you're going to hear it first. Listen up, listen up. This is where you're probably going to hear it first. If I was Errol Spence Jr., I would campaign for the rematch to be maybe in New York, not Vegas, or somewhere else. Because in different cities and states, the way you wrap your hands is legal or not. In Vegas, you can put tape on your knuckles, then gauze, then tape on your knuckles. Some call it stacking. You know, in Vegas, it's legal. You can punch a lot harder this way. I don't think it's that way in New York. I could be wrong. Maybe they need to go somewhere where you can't. To basically have to put gauze first, then tape, and go from there. Just switch the environment. You don't want to do it. If you lost in a place, you don't want to go back to that same place and do it the exact same way to try to get it back. There will be a rematch, I believe. It would probably take place at 154 pounds. Errol Spence Jr. dream of ever being undisputed at 147, it is most likely done. That ended with Terence Crawford being undisputed. His next goal, and the only goal for him, because he's probably going to do this rematch, is trying to get this win. And he know now firsthand how lethal, how dangerous, how talented, how powerful Terence Crawford is. Terence Crawford looked like new money against Errol Spence Jr. Terence Crawford didn't look this good versus Benavidez. I think it was Jose Benavidez, Gamboa, Sean Porter, Mean Machine, what is it? Santiago. He looked as good against none of them people. He looked his best against Earl. He looked so good. People are saying that he can beat any version of Floyd Mayweather. I think that'd be a very good fight. But the only way you can compare and say he can beat Floyd off of Errol Spence Jr. win is if Errol Spence Jr. fought like Floyd Mayweather, but better. But he don't. Floyd Mayweather moves his feet, has great timing, counter punching. He's not slow. He doesn't reach with shots. He make in the ring adjustments. Guys, this would be a very, very high calculated fight. Very high calculated fight. I think it'd be a damn good one. I wish I could have saw this prime, but it can't. It's just gonna be a fantasy match now. Floyd Mayweather versus Terence Crawford. It's just a fantasy match. But I just believe that Floyd Mayweather would do a little bit better. Now, one of my, I'm not gonna say his name, but one of the guys that I watch on YouTube, you know, I think I followed. I don't know whenever I first came back to YouTube, and I was trying to actually see who was on the boxing scene, who was talking boxing, like-minded people, because I want to do some collabs. You know, some of those things never happened. But this guy, you know, he says that, you know, he believes, or someone told him that he believes that Crawford should beat Floyd because Floyd's naturally smaller, Crawford naturally bigger, the natural bigger. Oh, hey, this Johnny right here. Yeah, I want to talk to Johnny. Nah, I know. I'll talk to Johnny later. So there is a saying that says, or people say that, you know, a good big man should beat a good little man. You know what I'm saying? And listen, and that's not always, but in this case, I don't think you're looking at good or great. You're looking at, you know, extreme talent with Floyd Mayweather. Oscar De La Hoya was a good big man. Floyd was a good little man, right? What happened? Cotto was bigger. Floyd was smaller. What happened? Sometimes when you have skill level, even Dio Corrales, I think, was bigger at Floyd at one time. you cannot say that it always goes that a good bigger man can beat a good smaller man. Then how are these smaller men moving up in divisions, beating the best at those divisions? You can't stand by that. Now I'm gonna say this: it's a damn good fight. I'm gonna say this: Terence Crawford versus Floyd Mayweather would have been a damn good fight. Oh, I can see Crawford cracking Floyd one good time, and I can see Floyd making an adjustment to try to let that happen no more the rest of that fight. Man, but you know what? It's just a fight that people are going to debate. You know, Floyd had a great career. Terence Crawford is still having a great career. He is still active. He has more work to be done. You know, before he closes it up, and all hats go off to Terence Crawford. You know, because he did it, and not only did he beat Errol Spence Jr., he was so humble. To me, that's what gains respect of other people. Now, as fans, we can brag, oh, he beat him, oh, he beat him. We have that right, and the fighter has that right too. But sometimes what they do after they win determines how fast fan base will gravitate to them or not. If you beat down their favorite fighter and shit on their favorite fighter, a lot of time that fan can become a bitter fan base, and it can go either way, right? It can be a Floyd Mayweather case and make you a billionaire, or not. A lot of times, listen, what happened to Floyd don't always happen. That's one time, right? So most often it's hard to get that fan base. But if you come out and you respect the fighter you beat, you prop him up, right? You talk positive about him. You give him all the thanks and appreciation. That fan base gets a little softer. And they're more willing to accept you and the defeat you gave their favorite fighter, and start cheering for you if you fight anybody else but their favorite fighter. It might even pick you to beat their favorite fighter, and which make you the new favorite fighter. It's your boy T. Whatsblazing Sports. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'm back at it, crack at it, giving you boxing geekers that work. Yeah!